My dad used to always say,
there are two kinds of people in the world, Cameron. Astronomers and astronauts. Some look at the stars, others swim in them. You look like a younger, better-looking version of me.
you don't believe me, do you?
It's a really crazy story, Ken.
Tony, did you give the Saturday morning slot to another show?
They want a different host.
Kent Armstrong.
I can't believe you crashed your car yesterday.
I'm afraid I have no idea what you're talking about.
He's like my antithesis. What?
Some old-ass Russian rocket fell from outer space and it crashed in our backyard. Welcome to Fairview Heights.
I think this is just chance, all this happening right now.
You're a scientist. What else would it be?
Can I see it?
Sure. Come on.
You've got this pile of rocket crap right here. Why don't you just build your own rocket?
It's not that simple.
Yeah, it might be.
Remember when we used to talk about doing something fantastic? Whatever happened to that?
I'm the only one who's even remotely rational anymore.
Oh, you built this thing in like a month?
Yeah.
I'm about to do a test of the booster. You want to check it out?
3, 2, 1.
What?
Wait. Einstein came up with a theory of relativity when he was 26.
You go do what you're destined for.
It's not that simple.
It's not that simple.
Not that simple. Why do you always tell yourself that?
What are you doing?
Something fantastic.
The view is so great from out here, Cam.
Shuttle launch, 90 seconds.
Now, open your eyes.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going,
What's going
William?
on, man? Hey, it's awesome, man. I can't wait. Sorry, I was a little late. I was in the middle of. I have like 3 interviews back to back. I'm sorry about that.
That's
Colin.
all good. I get it. I'm on the same boat, just the other way around. So,
No worries. We're here to talk about your brand new film, or brand new because I saw it like a year and a half ago. Linoleum.
yeah, brand new as in it's coming out publicly, which is great. But yeah, we premiered about a year, a little over a year ago. So I'm definitely excited to get it out there in the world.
It's a really interesting film. Jim Gaffigan is your star, as well as you have Rhea Seehorn. Talk about casting in this, because this is such a great cast, and it's just probably one of Jim Gaffigan's best performances, if not his best.
Well, thanks. Yeah, it really is. I mean, I feel so lucky to have had such a wonderful cast on the film. And yeah, it was definitely a process. I mean, we had our casting director, Jessica Sherman, who sort of started off the process, and we searched for a long time, and actually, the script's kind of floating around the agencies, and Jim's agent got a hold of it, thought he'd be good, and he read it, and we were really excited about Jim, and it was pretty quick, like right when I talked to him, that he was the right person for the role. And of course, Rhea Seehorn is like amazing. I just felt so lucky to be able to work with her on this film. She's like just I don't know, man, like there's like magic in her, I think, like there's like some sort of true quality that's like unbelievable. And so I actually learned quite a bit about the industry through her in a lot of ways, which it's been really great.
You have made some interesting stuff, man. I saw your previous film as well, Double Walker.
Oh, cool.
And I actually love it because I think Sylvie Minx should be the future, because she's the best.
She's awesome.
But dude, your stuff is so interesting. Can you talk about your process of looking at this film and thinking, I can make this, because you wrote it and you're like, right. I can make this happen. What goes on there?
I don't know, man. I guess like it was part of that was like I like just some sort of false sense of confidence. Like I just felt like, like I just like kind of was fed up with like kind of like appeasing other people, and I just decided to sort of go all out. And with Double Walker too, and it was so amazing working with Sylvie on that project. And I'm glad you saw that too. It's kind of like, I see like there's like some thematic ties between the two, but they're very different tones and very different sort of worlds. But But yeah, I'm so proud of both. And actually we shot them about 6 months apart. So it was a really interesting to go from like a incredibly low budget sort of like DIY, almost scriptless movie to this one, which was much bigger. There was more budget, a bigger crew and all that stuff. And to have that happen so back to back was really great. But I don't know why I'm drawn to these weird stories, man. It just
maybe you have an existential crisis, man, because that's what
I'm
both
always
pretty
having
much about.
Always having an existential crisis. That's very true.
You know, because both of these deal with human existentialism and what are we and what is a human and who are we? You know what I mean? They all ask those questions, and I think that they're wonderfully delivered. And I think it takes a special kind of talent to be able to put that together. So commend you for that.
Nice.
You're from Columbus, right?
I am. Are you?
I just moved here actually to
Columbus.
Columbus
Is the best. Oh, great. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's an interesting place, and I mentioned that because when I found out I was going to be interviewing you, I wasn't here yet. I had just moved here, and I was like, "Oh, cool! I guess I'm going to talk about that."
Oh, that's
really
great. Yeah, you know, I think film like in Columbus, like the Columbus film scene is definitely growing like rapidly. I think like with that whole team over there at Loose Films with Sylvie Mix, you know, making Poser last year,
which was incredible. Yeah,
so good. And we were actually sort of shooting Double Walker and Poser at the same time. So I know all those guys. We're great friends. We've sort of went on the festival tour together, and it's been great to see that sort of happening. And I can't wait to sort of go back and make more films in Columbus. And but yeah, you should meet all those guys. I mean, like right away, you know. So
send me the numbers.
We can back channel and you can I'll hook them up with you for sure.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Now, I always ask my guests 2 very personal questions, and I love the answers I get because you never know what you're going to get.
Okay.
The first one is kind of a 2-part question. I like to think about who are some people that inspire you in the business, and who do you look to as people growing up that you were like, I want to do this job because of these people?
Sure. Yeah, totally, William. So actually, there was one specific filmmaker that actually really got me going in the industry, and I was 15, and I went out for the soccer team, and I didn't make the team, but all my friends did. And so my mom was basically like, you know, you should go to the library and get some books this summer, you know, and whatever. And I was like, I was like, okay. So I went to the library, but instead of getting books, I got a whole bunch of movies. And and that happened for the next year or two. I was just like consuming movies. And one that really stuck out to me early on was Darren Aronofsky's first movie, Pi, which is a great movie. And, you know, but it's gritty, it's black and white. It was sort of nothing like anything I'd seen in the theaters up to that point as a kid. And I remember this was sort of the earlier days of the internet. It was before Darren Aronofsky was big. And I went onto his website, and he literally had his like email address right there on his website. And so I emailed him as a 15-year-old and like, hey, like, so I'm interested in film, and like I you know, want to like write something. And so he gave me some pointers, and we kind of had a back and forth a little bit. And it made me realize that like people make movies, you know, and it made it a viable option. Now I had this person that I was like looking up to, you know, as a voice in film. And I think that was like the initial sort of like spark that set things off for sure.
I love that, because it only takes one person to spark some sort of thing. It's the same with me. When I was a little kid, I used to watch Ebert and Roper or Siskel at the movies. And I'm like, how do they talk about movies as art like that? I want to be able to do that.
Dude, same. I get it. That's great.
And that's why I went to film school. That's why I do all the things I do with film, and that's why I love talking to directors about their projects, because I get to experience their experience, and that's the best thing you can get. The second question is the hardest question of the day. Okay. This is the hardest thing you're ever going to answer. You can only watch 2 movies for the rest of your life, Colin. What 2 and why?
Okay. I've thought about this a little bit in the past. Not that I've been asked this question, but I'm like, what are the films? I think it's funny that you do 2 instead of just 1 too. But the one that I do always go to that I think I could continue dissecting for the rest of my life is Synecdoche, New York, excuse me. I think there's something in that movie that it's like it's an incredibly sort of dismal, melancholic film, but like I love that kind of like metatextual look back at your own life. And I think Kaufman does an incredible job. I feel like it's such an underrated movie. Actually, speaking of Siskel and Ebert, I think they said it was like the best film in the last 10 years or something, you know, when it came out back in 2008. But But yeah, that film I think is a real kind of challenger for me. And then, you know, maybe another one that I would put on that list is probably The Truman Show, because and it would be because I could sort of go back and forth between the two. But that movie I think is pretty much flawless, and really kind of changed my perspective on, gosh, like everything. Like I sometimes walk around still and I'm like, I think I'm in The Truman Show. So
you never know. We could be this whole thing could be, you know, a simulation. That is simulation theory, right?
I think that's the existential freak out, you know?
Exactly. You have a Jim Carrey on your list like I do. I have a different Jim Carrey movie on mine.
Oh, okay. Yes. What are yours?
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
So good.
And It Happened One Night.
Oh, great. Those are great films.
Those are mine too. But dude, the ending for Schenectady, New York is beautifully frustrating. And I love that you picked that movie because I hate that movie's ending, but it is the perfect ending for that movie.
It is the perfect ending, but it is one of those frustrating endings. But I do like that. I like those endings that just, you know, in fact, Linoleum had a bit of it actually was written to have a kind of epilogue at the end. And we ended up cutting that because I liked this idea of like, just ending on this kind of surreal liftoff, you know, and wondering then like, where does it go from there? So yeah, I don't know. Endings are very delicate.
I don't remember my review of the movie, but I think I used the word surreal at least 3 times.
Your review was very good. So thank you so much. And it also,
you did
honestly,
read it.
like, yeah, for sure. And it really spreads like what you guys do. It really spreads the word for our films, you know, like films like this, like, you know, the best way to get them out there is like word of mouth. So like, thank you so much for like being positive about it and like getting it out there in that way. So.
Dude, I loved it. I hope you read the Devil Walker one too, because I have that one out there too.
Definitely.
Your stuff is just crazy, and I love crazy people because I am. Crazy myself.
You know, the film is actually, so we come out in theaters on February 24th, and I'll actually be in Columbus, Ohio on the 25th. Doing a Q&A at the Gateway screening. So come and I'll meet you there.
Is that an invite?
That's an invite for sure.
I'll be there. You said the Gateway Theater?
Yeah.
Haven't been yet. I'll go. 25th. I'll put it on my schedule.
It's the theater. Although you've just got to Columbus, so this is going to be a perfect break-in for you. It'll be and I'll introduce you to all those people. So anyway,
I will be there. Oh, looking forward to it. I'll see you then, and you guys will see this movie when it comes out next Friday, the 24th. It's called Linoleum, and it stars the brilliant Jim Gaffigan. It's directed by my man here, Colin West. We are looking very forward to whatever you're doing next. We know it's going to be weird now, out of control.
Definitely.
So,
weird. Guys,
make sure you check out the movie on VOD and in theaters, right?
Correct. In VOD in a few weeks after that, I think.
Perfect. So it's in theaters on the 24th. If you have an indie theater near you, make sure you're watching this thing, because I'm telling you right now, you're not going to regret it. I saw it and I loved it. Guys, Linoleum. This has been Colin West. Anything else you want to say before I let you go, Colin?
Thank you very much. That's it.
Oh, you're the man, Colin. I appreciate you. I hope I hit record on that, or somebody sent me a recording. We'll see you soon. For Film Sniper News, this has been William, and we'll see you guys later.
Thank you.